As a mason, you'll have manual and power equipment at your disposal to get your work done efficiently. One of the most common manual pieces of equipment is a wheelbarrow, and there are two types available. A contractor's wheelbarrow, which has a deep bed for carrying mortar, and a brick barrow, which, as the name implies, is used to transport brick and block. It has no sides, which allows easy access to materials from either side. All right, let's get the tools to the work site. The most efficient way to move your tools around is with a contractor's wheelbarrow. So begin by taking your shovel, mortar hoe, brick tongs, tool bag, and mason's level and place them in the wheelbarrow. It's highly recommended that you position the handles of the shovel and hoe between your body and arm when transporting your tools in a wheelbarrow. This limits the movement of the handles and prevents them from hitting passing objects or fellow workers. Once you've arrived safely at the job site, it's time to get organized. Here's a method that's really worked well for me over the years. Begin by placing the shovel in the sand pile and your mortar hoe in a 5-gallon bucket of water. Next, take your tool bag and set it on the material planks, and then carry your brick tongs over to brick storage. Bricks are commonly received from the supplier in cubes and are secured together with either metal or plastic bands. But before we remove the bands, here's a quick tip. If you're working in warmer temperatures, the brick pile should always be pre-wetted several hours before bedding them. This will go a long way in improving mortar bond strength. The first step in removing the brick bands from the cubes is to make sure that the brick cube itself is firmly supported on a flat surface and shows no signs of falling over once the bands have been cut. If the cube is set on sloping terrain, find out if a forklift is available to move it over to level ground. If not, the mason needs to stand away from the side of the brick cube that's likely to give way once the bands are cut. Once you're satisfied with the placement of the brick cube, take out your brick tongs and adjust them to the width of the strapped brick using the nut and bolt on the tongs. Brick tongs are used to lift and carry brick. One end of the tong is hinged, permitting several bricks to be lifted together. These tongs are adjustable to fit different size bricks and are typically capable of picking up to 11 standard size or 9 oversized brick at a time. Once your brick tongs have been adjusted and you've put on your work gloves and safety glasses, you're ready to make the first cut. Take a pair of tin snips and cut the brick band at the top of the brick cube. Next, place the snips no more than 6 inches from the bottom of each side of the brick cube and cut the remaining portions of the strapping and then place it in a trash container. Keep in mind that straps need to be folded and disposed of properly. The ends of straps should be folded over as well in order to protect coworkers from lacerations. With the straps cut, you should now be able to begin safely removing brick from the cube and load them onto the brick barrow. But before you do, make sure that it's facing in the direction you intend on traveling, and that the legs are supported on firm, level ground. Now, loading brick on a barrow takes a little bit of planning. Why? Because it's very important that the load remains balanced whenever the barrow is moving. And if you begin loading the brick randomly, you're almost guaranteed to tip over the barrow, damaging not only the brick, but perhaps injuring yourself or someone else. Follow these steps, and your brick should arrive safely each and every time. To begin, take your first tong of bricks and place it in the center of the brick barrow. Next, take your second and third tong of bricks and place them on each side of the first tong. Since brick vary in color, you should make sure that you blend the brick by removing them from several piles. To finish the load, add a second layer of brick using the same procedure. This should give you 6 tongs of brick, the equivalent of 250 to 300 pounds, which is the maximum recommended load for a brick barrow.